To adjust any of the non-adaptive assignments that you have in your ALEKS course, you're first going to want to head to your assignments page. Once you're on your assignments page, you'll notice your full list of assignments here that you can edit, or you can add a new non-adaptive assignment by adding a homework test or quiz from this drop-down menu. If you're wanting to adjust something that's already existing in your course, you can either click on the name of it or you can check it off and hit this edit tool pop up, and you can toggle between editing the content and the settings side. If you're editing the content side, you'll notice that you can pick from different banks of questions that you can add from, just depending on what you have in your course, if you have an ebook added, and so on. So this is where you can adjust and pick the content. The right side is the content you already have. The left side is what you can choose from, so you can come in here and add anything by just clicking and dragging it to the right side to build out your assignment and preview it. Once you're done with that, you can toggle over to the settings and adjust the settings here for this particular assignment. Depending on if it's a homework or a test or a quiz, they might look a little bit different. It also depends on your institution settings and if you're in a math or a chemistry account. So just note that these might be a little bit different depending on what kind of course you are running. The top section here is where you can decide the name and dates of the assignment, as well as if you want a late submission window with a penalty applied. You can also adjust for which students get this particular assignment and how much time that they are given to do so. The second section here is for assignment access settings. This is where you can prioritize the assignment to make sure it pops up right away. You can add some prerequisites, password protect it. Depending on if your institution allows, you might have some location settings. You might have Respondus Monitor and Lockdown Browser pop up here. It just kind of depends on your institution settings. One that I always like to point out is this bottom one here. So if you do want students to be able to get in there and review after one submitted attempt, you'll want to make sure that this checkbox is turned on so they can get in there and review without impacting their score. The next section down here is the content settings. So you can decide what resources you want the students to be given while they're working on this particular assignment. This also is going to be very dependent on if you have a textbook added, if you're in math or chemistry. So some of these are going to look very different. This is where you can check on or off. It's going to default for on for homeworks. It's going to default to be off for quizzes or tests, but you can adjust that as the instructor in here as needed. This section is also where you can decide on how many assignment attempts you are going to be giving the students, whether it's a certain particular number, or you can scroll up to see that unlimited up there at the top. If you do give them more than one assignment attempt, you can decide how you want them to retake it, if you want to just do the questions that were incorrect only or a full retake, and how you want that to be scored. The last section down here is the grade settings. You can decide when you want the score and report to be released, the report being the full breakdown of every question asked with the correct answer. So you can now turn that on or off. You can also decide if you want them to see it right away or wait till the due date or a particular date for the score and the report down here. Depending on what kind of questions you have in your course, you may see this partial credit pop up. You may not. It just depends on what type of questions you have and what book you're using and so on. Down here at the bottom is where you can save these settings for future assignments. So if you want to set them once, and then every time you make something in that particular category afterwards, it will just kind of copy and paste those settings. You don't have to do them every single time. And then once you're done adjusting the content and the settings, all you have to do is hit save, and then you'll be taken back to your assignments page where you can adjust any of the other assignments in your course.